During a virtual press conference, cabinet members showed how the current increase in COVID-19 infection figures is very similar to what happened in the country last year during the same period, and at that time it resulted in a total lockdown. In general, people have noticed that every day the figures we announce of COVID-19 infections keep rising. In November, we usually had 15, 10 or even less infections per day. But towards the end of November and the beginning of December, things started changing, and yesterday there were 50 fresh infections, something we had not seen for some time. The infection in general has also once again exceeded the 5 people per 100,000 mark. The minister therefore gave a dire warning. In general, our findings in the provinces show us that things are still fine because the figures are not alarming. But there are pockets with rising numbers, which is why the government decided to adopt new measures to deal with it, lest we end up with another total lockdown in January like what happened last year in December as figures steadily increased, such that by January the sick were so many in hospitals, some of them in critical condition. Then there is the problem of those who refuse to get vaccinated. We cannot have vaccines only for people to refuse to be vaccinated and put those who are vaccinated at risk as we idly stand by. We will take the blame if anyone comes forward and proves that the reason they are not vaccinated is because there are no vaccines, which is why in rural areas we immediately inform local residents when vaccines are available so that they can come and get their jab, such that when the day comes when only the vaccinated are able to go to different places and access different services, it doesn't become a problem for you. A person has every right to decide not to get vaccinated, but he or she does not have the right to infect others, nor do they have the right to put their own life at risk. And as the government, it is our responsibility to prevent any harm that may come upon our citizens. The government therefore urges you to get vaccinated, to protect yourself and others so that we can stop this pandemic. Then there is the matter of trade and the buying frenzy that usually accompanies the holiday season, resulting in people acting as if there is no pandemic.
We ask traders to ensure that social distancing is respected, that hand washing stations are operational, and require that their customers wear their face masks properly. It has become clear Omicron variant spreads very quickly. Also, we want traders to respect the agreement we had with them, that they are to ensure that they are people to enforce the preventive measures, dressed in yellow overalls so that they can also be identified, regardless of whether they pay them themselves or they are youth volunteers.
Officials from the Rwanda Development Board have also urged those in the tourism sector to respect the recently announced measures by the government in the fight against the pandemic. The National Police, meanwhile, has confirmed that people had become very lax towards even the simplest of the preventive measures in place, with figures from between the 5th and the 14th of this month of December showing that close to 60,000 people were caught not wearing a face mask. More than 7,000 were found moving around during curfew hours, and slightly more than 1,000 were arrested drinking in bars that were not authorized to operate.